Welcome to my dissection of the feedback of my Metal Gear Solid 5 Worth a Buy video. I do like to do this when there's a massive influx of comments because I can't reply to everybody. I have replied to well over 100 people, but I can't reply to everybody, and I do want to have a bit of a bit of communication with these people. So I've decided to do this short little video where hopefully I'm going to make it a bit more clear as to why I thumbed down the game and answer a lot of your questions in the process. I've done the video as kind of like a podcast. There will not be any visual things going on, so you can minimize this and have it running in the background if you want. There's no visuals at all throughout this. The fallout has been what I expected, and it's not easy doing what I do. I mean, I knew what was coming. When I started to play Metal Gear Solid, it was my first forage into Metal Gear, and it was a bit strange, this story, so I kind of just, disregarded the story because I knew that I wouldn't understand it because I'd never played the first four. So that was a kind of an advantage for me as a reviewer because I wasn't bogged down in the story. I was just looking at the core gameplay of the game. So as I started to play it, I started to see how flawed that it was, and I knew after pretty much 6 hours that I was probably going to thumb the game down. I'm not exaggerating, guys. I have had hundreds, not tens, hundreds of people telling me that I disliked Metal Gear Solid 5 because it's a stealth game and I can't do stealth games. It's hilarious. I don't know where they get this from. I absolutely don't. I mean, half of the video shows me stealthing very successfully through bases, killing people, tranquilizing people, hiding their bodies, and so on and so forth. But the really strange thing is, the crazy thing is that the only bit where I talk about stealth is where I say I've stealthed. I can't remember my exact words, but it's along the lines of I stealthed through the first part of the game. I mean, because I was told to, so I just kind of did it, and I was getting A's on the missions. And I was thinking, right, well, I deserve an A because I did the objective without being seen. And, that was that. So I was getting A's, and I was finding that I started after about the 5th or 6th mission. I noticed that I was doing the same type of mission. It was like, oh, you got to go and rescue this guy. All right, okay. You've got to go and steal this thing. All right. This guy's having a meeting. You've got to kill him. All right. Next mission. You've got to go and rescue this guy. Alright, okay. Next mission. You've got to go and steal this blueprint. Okay. There's a guy having a meeting. You've got to kill him. Oh. Okay. But I've just kind of done them three. There's a guy over there you need to rescue. But that's two. I've already rescued two. There's a blueprint there. You need to steal it. Yeah, I've got quite a few. There's a guy having a meeting. We have to take him out. Okay. And hang on a minute. Can I just stop you there? Haven't I been here before? Yeah, we sent you there 4 missions ago. Same place. Alright. Yeah, but when I sent you there the last time, you were killing someone. Now you're rescuing somebody. Okay. And after about 10, 15 missions, that includes side ops, I was kind of bored out my fucking brains. I was so fed up of stealthing around the bases. It was so lackluster because there was no civilians, there was no animals running around the town, no dogs, there was no goats around the place. I was coming into these market towns that from a distance through your scope, your binoculars, you kind of saw that, yeah, this looks nice, Afghanistan, there's a mountain in the background, there's a little village there, and you kind of have no people to avoid. There's no civvies running around the place. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, the easiest stealth game I've ever played, and I'm 20 hours in now. Yes, I've done the missions, I've found the mechs, and I've fought against the mechs and all the rest of it, and I'm so bored with it. And that's what I was getting at in the video. I said in the video that I'm so bored with the stealth. It's boring as fuck. It really is, because it's not a challenge. I mean, I grew up on Hidden and Dangerous 1 and 2, which were excessively hard stealth games. The snipers could see you for miles. I mean, each mission would take hours, but you had one life. You got shot, that's it, you're out the game. You're out the game. No, there's no second chances. That was it. You stick your head up from that rock, sniper, bam. It was a true proper stealth game, and it was so satisfying when you did it. And I completed it at least 30 times all the way through. It was co-op, and we used, oh man, one of the best games ever written, long time ago. And then I went on to Rainbow Six, which I also loved. Stealthing around in the houses was just so fucking stressful, and I loved that game as well. And lots of other stealth games were really, really good. And now when I play these modern stealth games, I'm like, I mean, Dishonored was good. I like Dishonored. But Metal Gear, this one, I mean, I'm not knocking the series. I don't know, because I've never played any of the others. But this one is just garbage as far as stealth is concerned. The AI is just not there. It's not up to scratch. I found that time and time again when I was stealthing. It was incredibly easy. I mean, I'm not to mention the fact that you can have X-ray eyes if you want them. I mean, I switched that off on some of my missions because it was just the ones that I was going to stealth, I kind of switched that off. So that's why in my review you will see some footage of me with the marker isn't on when I'm using my binoculars, because I found it so awful and easy that when I was doing a stealth mission, I'd switch that off. But I stopped doing stealth missions because I found them so boring. They weren't challenging me at all. They weren't really... I never got... When I finished the mission, I never got any sense of achievement. I never got that sense of, wow, man, that was fucking awesome, the way I went in there and just evaded all them. It was like, well, I've just evaded 25 fucking blind pricks. So, big deal. Hooray for me, you know. I found that in order to keep playing the game, I had to go full Rambo. So I would stealth into the bases and get right into the middle, or burst through the door, guns blazing. And I found that fun. And I loved that, and I said that in the video, that I actually loved that aspect of the game. It was great. It was my saving grace from the game. And I did that on loads of missions. Riding around on a horse, firing an RPG. As crazy as that is, it was just so much fun doing it. Riding around a base, RPGing people in the base. It was fun. Diving on the mortars and just mortaring people. Great fun. Jumping on the machine gun nests. Yeah, I had fun. And I said at the end of my video that this isn't a bad game. It isn't a bad game. I never said it was a bad game. People have said that I hated the game. I didn't hate the game. I actually say in the review, this isn't a bad game. There is plenty of fun to be had there. And there is, but it's not a challenging stealth game. Some of the bases I've visited so many times, I could actually tell you where the guards are. I just know where they are. You see, why I thumbed this game down is because I'm not a standard review site. I don't do a score of 1 to 10. I have to ask the question, is it worth a buy? £45. Getting £45 of your hard-earned cash, is it worth slapping that down on the counter and saying, I want Metal Gear Solid 5? That's what this channel's about. So to do that, I look at what you get for £45. Do you get the kind of world that you should get for £45? No. No, I don't. What world should I get? Well, have a look at Far Cry 1, 2, 3, 4. Have a look at Skyrim. They are AAA worlds. They're £45 worlds. Just in case you'd forgot what a £45 AAA world looks like. You see, this looks more like an early access indie world. For £45, I expect artificial intelligence that can see past 50 yards in broad daylight. Especially when I'm on a white fucking horse, dressed like Johnny fucking Rambo. If you think I have high expectations for wanting that, then you need to give your head a shake. You really do. And these are the main part of the game. You see, Mother Base is only a small part of the game. It's the sideshow. Where are you spending most of your game? It's in the game world. That's where you spend your time in this game. 80% of your time is going to be spent on the map, doing the missions. The rest of it's kind of split between upgrading stuff at your base and all the rest of it. So I'm not going to thumb a game down based on the 20%. I look at the 80%. And the 80% for this game is lackluster and poor, as I've already mentioned, and as I've proved in my video. Yet, the vast majority of criticisms that I've had of this review have not been about the AI, the world, or the repetitive missions. It's been, I either hate the Metal Gear Solid franchise, I hate stealth games, and what was the other one? No, I think that was it. It was them two things. That's what people are saying. You thumbed down this game because you hate stealth games. No, I didn't. Did you even watch the video? And the reason the fanboys are doing that is because they can't argue with the AI. They can't argue with the map. They can't argue with the repetitive mission structure. So they pretend, even though it's the mainstay of the video, they pretend I never mentioned that. That's why I thumbed down Metal Gear Solid. It's not a bad game. I never said it was. Watch the review. It's a mediocre game. But sorry, it's not worth £45 in my opinion. And reviews are just opinions. You know, they're just opinions. That's all they are. It's just my opinion. My channel is all about whether a game is worth buying, in my opinion. Not your opinion, not the Pope's opinion, not the Queen's opinion, but my opinion. And that's it. You can't really argue with it because it's my opinion. You know, if I go on to Eurogamer and I read their review of it, it's that reviewer's opinion. Simple. People have said, why is it that you were the only one giving negative about this? Well, my only answer to that is that I would not be a bit surprised if people have been bought out for this. But as far as YouTubers go, people who do what I do, it's their opinion, isn't it? That's all it is. I think a lot of them are scared. I mean, it's intimidating. It's very difficult to give a negative review to a game that has a massive following because you know what's coming. Somebody even said, I do this for views. Really? Do you think it's fun being absolutely annihilated in the comments by people wanting you dead, threatening you? It's not nice reading all the vile that people spew. It's horrible. I've had to ban 50 people, at least, just on this review because of the absolute disgrace, calling me a liar, saying that I fabricated stuff. Honestly, there's some awful people out there, and I don't want them on my channel. And I know that when I release a review like this, that it's gonna attract them like flies round shit, and it's awful. And you know, I kind of braced myself when I released this. I hate it. I'd much rather have had Metal Gear Solid 5 with a thriving open world, with a vast variety of missions, with good AI, and to sit here and say, man, this was a fucking great game. Oh, hey, I would love to have done that. But how can I? How can I? You've watched the video, you've seen the footage. How can I possibly come on here and say this is a great game for £45 with a lifeless fucking world, with shit AI, repetitive missions? I've got integrity, and I'm not scared of what the backlash brings. And if that means that I'm Mr. Unpopular and I have to go and get abused, well, I'm sorry, but I have to do that. I watched Jim Sterling, and I've got loads of time for Jim Sterling. I think he's a great guy. But I watched his playthrough of Metal Gear Solid, and he threw a hand grenade in the dark. He was behind a wall. It was in a village in the dark. No one had seen him. He stealthed in. But he was trying to create a diversion, and he threw a grenade miles away from where he was. Nobody saw him throw the grenade because there was no one looking. But once the grenade went off, all the guards ran to where he was. And he was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this shit? He gave it 9 out of 10. Now, that's his opinion, but in my world, I could never... How could I possibly give 9 out of 10 to a game that is like that with the artificial intelligence? I just can't do it. But people do this. IGN gave it 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece, apparently. They even made a video stating that the game world being the way it is actually benefits the game. Sorry, every time I think of that, it's so funny. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh there. It's just spontaneous. When I think of the guy sitting in the chair saying that, it's just fucking hilarious. It's so fucking funny. It's like, yeah, we don't want a world like Far Cry 3. A big thriving world of Afghanistan with goat herders and farmers and people going between villages like they would You know, we don't want that. We want an empty shell of a lifeless, soulless fucking map. Because it's better! Oh my goodness. Where's my bell? There. That's a bell for IGN right there. So, yeah. But that's why I thumbed it down. I thumbed it down not because it's a horrible game. I thumbed it down because it's not worth £45 with the map being the way it is, the AI being the way it is, and the repetitive mission structure. That was it. Which is what I said in my review, which is why my review, 24 minutes long, focused mainly on them 3 things. And I hardly mentioned, I mentioned the box for 8 seconds, yet people, oh Mac, I can't believe you thumbed this down because of a cardboard box. Honestly. What do you do with these people? I don't know what you do with these people. I actually don't know what you can't. I don't know what to do. I don't know. You kind of just sigh, you know, when you read the kind of shite that's been on this video, and you know, other reviewers is picking on us as well. I had one guy saying, "Hey Mac, I've done a video proving you wrong." How can you prove my opinion wrong? What did I do? Did I fabricate the artificial intelligence? Is it a case that you can not ride past a base on a horse and I somehow reverse engineered the code of the game so that when I rode past a base on a horse, the guards don't see me? Is that what I did? Is that what it is? Is it? You see, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But I do want to say this on closing. I do want to say this. What has been a very pleasant surprise, a very, very pleasant surprise, is the number, and this goes into the hundreds as well, of Metal Gear Solid fans who have turned around and said, you know what Mac, you're actually spot on. I've followed Metal Gear right from day one on the consoles. This is what they're saying to me. And it's gone down the fucking pan. Especially in Metal Gear Solid 5. The world is lifeless, the missions are boring, and the AI is horrible. And that's from Metal Gear Solid fans. And they've all said that if I ever get the chance, I should play the first 3 because they are the best. I don't have a gripe with Metal Gear Solid. I just actually don't. It does sound great fun, it really does, but this game, Metal Gear Solid 5, for £45 doesn't do it for me. It's opinions. I can't, you see, I can't get in a fucking helicopter every half an hour, fly to the same lifeless, soulless map, knowing that I'm gonna bump into nothing but a fucking Terminator bear and Russian soldiers and the odd wolf. And you know, even the flowers that you pick, they're all around the landing sites. 3 of them. There'll always be 3. It's just lazy. It's awful. It's so just drab and lifeless and soulless and boring. And I'm kind of like, ugh. I can't do it. When I played Far Cry 3, and I've done the whole playthrough on my other channel, when I went out in a Jeep, I hadn't a fucking clue what was round the next corner. Everything was kind of like, what the fuck? Am I going to meet another Jeep? A patrol? Is there going to be civilians? Is there going to be a gang? Is there going to be a firefight going on between some civilians who have turned mercenary and the nasties? Is there going to be a fucking rhino, a lion, a bear? Is there going to be a flock of fucking angry birds? I don't know. But every corner was exciting. The world was vibrant and alive. This is dead and fucking buried. See, people talk about Skyrim. They say, oh, Skyrim was shite. Honestly, really, was it now? Was it now? The combat might not have been the best, but wow, what an immersive, amazing game that was. That's what I expect. When I see that AAA stamp, I don't go, oh no. I go, hallelujah. This game looks as if it's going to be great. Fallout 4 is coming out shortly. And, you know, I've played all of them. All of the Fallout games. I absolutely loved Fallout 3. I thought that game was just fucking amazing. The world of that was just a pleasure to walk around because it was so believable. I didn't like New Vegas. I couldn't get into New Vegas. I think I only played it for a few hours. I just couldn't. I couldn't get latched into it. I just couldn't. And, you know, the new one, I have huge hopes for this. I'm expecting for the money, and I've already got it. It's already pre-ordered and everything. And I'm expecting in Fallout 4 a vibrant world Obviously, because of the nature of the game, you're not going to see people everywhere, but I'm expecting to have a world that is believable and immersive. I'm not expecting a world full of constricting barriers. I'm expecting a free world that I can roam around. I'm expecting good combat. I'm expecting a decent standard of artificial intelligence in that game. If I get all that, I'll have no problem thumbing that game up, because it'll be great. But if it's got awful AI, a constricted world and boring missions, it's going to get exactly the same treatment as this. It will not be worth the £50 that they're asking for it. And that's how I run my channel. And if other people want to gloss over all these cracks in a game, well, that's up to them. But I'm not going to. And I don't care what happens. I don't care what the consequences are. I am not glossing over huge cracks in gameplay like what I found in Metal Gear Solid 5. So if you don't like what I do, unsubscribe and go and watch somebody who will blow sunshine up the arse of all these AAA games and say they're all just brilliant. There's hundreds of people out there that will do that, but on Worth a Buy, it will not do that. If there's any big faults in a game, I'll find them, and when I find them, you know what happens.